Today we've got an oldie but a newie. Yeah, it's what I thought a new beer in Morrisons, but actually when I've looked at it again, it's a beer that's been out for a while, but it's been repackaged into a big 440ml can and it's got new graphics. But this is Transmission, a mountain IPA from North Brewing. And what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're reviewing this beer from North Brewing called Transmission. Now when I saw this in Morrisons this week, I thought, oh, there's another new one. They've got a new one there along with their Invisible City. So I picked this one up, brought it back home, looked at the blurb. Yep, I've definitely not heard of this one before, not seen it before. And then I've suddenly realised the name, it just sort of ringed a bell. And then I remember they used to sell these, I mean they probably still do sell these, in the 330ml cans, and it would have a TRMS Transmission in big letters on there. And it's the same beer, but it's a 6.9% IPA. I said mountain IPA. I've made that up really, I mean, because it says East Coast meets West Coast, so I call that a mountain IPA. It doesn't actually say call it a mountain IPA, but it's basically a combination of the two. So it's got the sort of more softness and that sort of, and usually haziness of an East Coast New England style IPA, along with a little bit more piney bitterness, sort of more that sort of orangey sort of flavour that you would more associate with West Coast or California IPAs, whatever you want to call it. So let's get this out of the can into a glass and see what it's about. I did check, I've never reviewed this beer before. I'm sure there's a lot of people that may have drank it before, and so this won't be new to them. But I thought, well, you know, maybe they've changed. I don't even know, they might have even changed the recipe. So just thought I'd give it a go anyway. I'm sure it's not very often that we have mountain IPAs. And as I say, as you look at it and you think that looks like a normal sort of IPA. You've got a hazy, orange sort of coloured beer, nearly 3 fingers, very compacted sort of head. Yeah, it looks like a sort of traditional, well, no, I don't say traditional, a craft IPA in the fact that it's hazy. It's got this sort of nice orangey sort of golden sort of glow. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's see what the aromas are like. Smells pretty good as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a lot of sort of orange, passion fruit, citrus fruits generally. Yeah, it smells quite juicy and it smells quite bright. It does smell very much more like a sort of normal sort of IPA that leans more to the east side. But let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, I mean, I really like this sort of style beer because I'm much more on the East Coast than I am the West Coast in terms of flavours. But this seems to see almost the best of both worlds. It's very soft. It's very sort of low levels of carbonation, big hits of juiciness. And there's a lot of orangey passion fruit, citrus sort of fruits. And then there's a little bit of pininess on the back end, but just only a hint of it. It's not as West Coasty pine as a lot of West Coast beers can be. It's got just a little bit of pininess, a little bit of sort of orange peel, grapefruit on the back end, just to give it a little bit of sort of sharp bitterness, really. And to me, that works really well because you get that big juice up front, you get all that sort of softness up front, and then it rounds the beer up into a sort of piney bitterness. But it's pretty good. So let's go in again. Yeah, now I'm getting more of that sort of bitterness coming in, more of the pininess, more orange and peel, grapefruit peel. And usually I'd be going, oh yeah, he's a bit bitter, but there's bitterness in there. There's definitely bitterness in there, but it's not as extreme as some beers in terms of their bitterness. It probably won't tell me what the IBU is in terms of the bitterness. No, it doesn't. I don't know what the hops are on this, but I'd imagine you're going to get you're probably going to get some of those sort of like hops like Chinook and Sentinel, those sort of ones that are more sort of associated with the west side. But then there's also lots of sort of orangey passion fruit, a little bit of tropical notes in there like mango. It's pretty good. It tastes like a real beer, you know. It's, if you're sort of at that point where, you know, that you think that the East Coast stuff is all a bit like juicy, fruity, fruit smoothie, and it's, you know, it's almost not like a beer. This one tastes like beer. You get all that juice, but then you get a lot of that beerness on the back end, the sort of bitterness, the sharp bitterness that you get. You get more with some of those sort of German and Belgian pilsners, that sort of piney, sharp bitterness on the back with orange peel and all the peels really in there. It's a nicely balanced beer, and as I said, it's been around a while. Whether it's the recipe has changed, but 6.9% is quite high ABV. This was $3.50, I think. So, you know, again, very good value for money. Yeah, it's a very good beer. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for North Brewery's Transmission. This is available now in Morrisons, in this sort of repackaged 440ml can. I mean, you don't want 6.9% IPA. You don't really want a small can of that. You want it in a decent size sort of, you know, can. You want to be able to pour it out and it's almost a pint. That's what you want, really. So I think it's a good move by them. And obviously, Transmission is probably quite popular. With North Brewery's probably thing where it's quite a popular beer, a lot of people want it, so we'll repackage it and make it big. And I think it's a good move. So let's go through the scores. First, the aroma. Well, for a beer like this, lots of orange, passion fruit, real juiciness really in terms of aroma. You get a little hints of pine in there, but it's very sort of small and it's not big in terms of the aroma. I think it's pretty good and it's quite inviting. 13 for aroma. Appearance, I think it's a lovely looking beer. So nice colour, nice level of haze. The head is very well retained. It's almost like it's foam that just sort of sits there, and I think that's pretty good. A lot of the West Coast usually, I don't think they usually have much of a sort of head, so I think that's a good sort of combination. I'm giving it 9 for appearance. Flavour wise, well, like the aroma, you're getting big hits of orange. You're getting those sort of West Coast flavours. Orange, there's a bit of tropicalness in terms of passion fruit really, and then you get other sort of citrus, lemons in there, a little bit of lime in there, then you get some pininess, then you get in a sort of real sharpness, orange sort of peel, grapefruit peel, that real sort of sharp slight bitterness coming in, and it rounds off the beer really nice. But it's a very soft drinking beer. It drinks like an East Coast in terms of the mouthfeel, but the flavours are much more West Coast. I think it's a good way of combining both those coasts together, and I'm surprised we don't see more beers like that. I'm giving it 33 for flavour. Value for money. Well, as I said, it's £3.50 for this, and like all the Morrison beers, you buy 4 of them, you only pay for 3, so I think that's really good value for money. I'm giving it 9 out of 10. And my overall experience, well, I'm not a huge West Coast fan, but I do like this sort of combination. Yes, there's more piney and bitterness in this beer than a lot of the East Coast New England style beers that I drink. And I think if I was drinking more than one of them, I would find that bitterness started to become a bit off-putting. So there's always that to take into account. And I'll knock a few points off from there from my overall experience with that. But it's still got a nice level of juice. And I think if you like West Coast beers, but you don't want to drink always West Coast, then this is I think it's a very good example of this sort of style of beer. So I'm giving it 13 for overall experience. Tighten those scores up, we get 77. So it's recommended. If you like beer, then you should drink it really. I mean, for a supermarket beer, I think it's a good quality beer. As I say, it's got a lovely sort of body, soft mouthfeel, really sort of strong orange passion fruit flavours, and there's that nice sort of grapefruit piney orange peel bitterness really, and that's it. You know, that is the beer. But I think it, you know, if you like your beers with a little bit more bitterness, then I think you'll really like this beer. So 77 out of 100. Yeah, it's another good beer from Morrisons. I mean, so far the beers have been pretty good. The Northern Monk one I thought was good. You know, The Invisible Sissies, I've got to get it again because I was just confused. I could not taste that coconut in there. But overall, because if I forgot about that, I think it's a good beer as well. And obviously Shoot to Thrill, which was the Wild Child Brewing one. It's cracking. I'm gonna have to have that again and make sure I wasn't sort of like going doolally, because that's how, if you haven't seen the review for that, then check it out, because it's one of the highest rated supermarket beers I've done. It's a very good beer, especially if you like Southern Hemisphere hops. And this one is equally good. So I'm pretty much probably saving the worst till last, which is the Magic Rock ones. And hopefully, you know, by the time this video comes out, I would have actually got that salt one as well. There's also, I've heard there's a jam roly-poly one from Northern Monk, so I'll give that a go as well. There's lots of interesting ones in Morrison. I'm looking forward to more of them. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Please comment if you've had this one. What do you think of the sort of this beer? Have you had it before? Has it changed? Maybe you had it before when it was in small cans and you've had it now and you thought, yeah, they've changed the recipe. It's a bit different now. But I'm also interested to know what you think of this latest Morrisons haul, because I think it's above average, certainly. You know, it's there's more winners than losers, certainly in this sort of in this lot, and there's still a few more to go. So I think that this is a good step for Morrisons. I think they've got some good beers in this time. But let me know what you think. You know, do you agree, or do you think, well, actually their last lot was better, or I'd rather go to Tesco's? Let me know in the comments. Interested to know what you think. And until the next one, you know what you got to do. Keep on rocking.